My name is Mazvita Chakawa. I'm from Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana. My current research goals in immunology is to understand the role of IL-22 binding protein in the functioning of macrophages in lung injury. So basically, I study lung injury. Basically, I also study the immune responses to lung injury, be it in the context of viruses or in the context of chemicals or environmental toxins. And so far, I'm really working on bleomycin-induced lung injury and how macrophages can be used to salvage the injury, and particularly how IL-22 binding protein, which is a protein that basically is known to inhibit or regulate IL-22, but we're seeing in our lab that it has one other important novel role, which is in the involvement of enhancing phagocytic activity during lung injury. So I envision my research contributing to healthcare in the sense that if we can establish that IL-22 binding protein is essential for macrophage functioning in lung injury, then we could perhaps use it as a therapeutic agent to administer to people that have lung injury. There's a lot that I've found interesting in my research, most of which very surprising because initially I did not intend to be on this path. I had a whole different direction. But because in my study, initially I was trying to eliminate macrophages from these mice so that we could eliminate some over IL-22 signaling that we were seeing, I found that I could not successfully eliminate macrophages in IL-22 binding protein knockout mice. So this was really frustrating at the beginning because all I wanted to do was eliminate this so I could move in a certain direction. But my PI, my supervisor, had told me that, hey, there's something here. Let's find out why these mice cannot eliminate macrophages using clodron liposomes, for example. So in the long run, we ended up seeing that there was a defect associated with lack of this binding protein in the functioning of macrophages, because macrophages in this instance had to sort of recognize the drug that we're trying to administer, engulf it, and then ultimately get killed by virtue of the drug exploding in the macrophages. So this was very surprising to us that mice that did not have this protein had macrophages that were not functioning well in recognizing and engulfing this drug. So that's where I am now. So I feel like there are a lot of surprises in science, but that shouldn't deter somebody or discourage somebody, because when you see that happening, there's always something interesting there. And if you dig deeper, it then becomes interesting in the long run. One thing is how the meeting has been very accommodative to different people from different walks of life. I noticed that there is a nursing mother's room somewhere in the conference arena. So to me, it shows the commitment to getting people from different walks of life, whether you're a nursing mother, whether you're a student in your career. There's a place where I also noticed where there's like a place for daycare, like taking care of the kids. And I also like how people are coming in from different countries. I've met somebody from Canada. I also met somebody from Ethiopia coming into the conference. And this is very interesting that I noticed. And I also liked the presidential keynote speech and at the opening on the first day. I think it was very enlightening in the aspect of, for example, long COVID and what we can use as biomarkers to indicate long COVID, which is a field that is sort of like a hot topic right now. But I actually hadn't come across somebody who can take things that they've, like the data that they have, into actual therapeutic suggestions or actual diagnostic markers that we can now use to diagnose long COVID. So I found that really interesting as well. To students that are thinking of pursuing a career in immunology or that are currently pursuing a career in immunology, I would say keep digging, keep being inquisitive. It's a good, immunology is very broad, but it's also very beautiful in the sense that everything connects to the other. And so you're never really lost when you're studying immunology, because once you remember that things are intertwined and interconnected, it becomes easier. So I would say it's a beautiful field. It's so much fun. Continue digging. Keep being inquisitive.